Some people. So I'm going to do an audio test. Yeah, so quick audio test. Trying something new with a second camera, but it's plugged into the same laptop. So for whatever reason, get an echo in my headphones. So I'll just take these. Okay. So guys, let me know if you can actually spend about the audio settings. Tested this with all of the other cameras. I'll elaborate fine. Great. Problem. But what I didn't see is the audio substitution because this. As long as you guys can always forget to change your visual. Visual.
Okay. Is that any better? Mic back into a different. Hello? Hello? Right, let me just do a quick audio test. Right, that's coming out of there. Hello. Okay, so I think I've got rid of the echo. I think my microphone is working. I've had to do it a weird way, so I'm actually not charging my tablet, my laptop now instead. So hopefully that works. So guys, tell me, is the audio any good? Not really, Padawan. It kind of is, I guess, but it's only because I'm testing something new. I tested the extra camera and it worked fine. So I was like, great, second camera. But I didn't consider the fact that some reason it affects the audio. So is it any good? Can you guys actually hear me? Is there sound coming out of there? Let me know. Meanwhile, we'll do some Lego ASMR and empty the. Right. Let's get this webcam. Can you see the build? No, can't see it like that. You guys be able to see what I'm actually building. Right, dump them. Testing your speakers and StreamYard. Sounds like everything's working. Right, let's get some background music on because this is desperate now. What background music do we want, guys? Do we want just the usual? Let's do the shout out music. Yeah. I think it's only me. I think we can go a bit higher. Let me know if that's too loud. Yeah, I think that's going to be a bit too loud. Put it down a bit. Normally I have on about 15. Let's go for 12. Okay, so before we go into it, let's read some comments. I've only been reading the ones at the bottom to see if my audio is any good. Okay, building in hardcore mode. Thanks, mate. We'll brick together. Dave Bricks. Hey, Sean. Hey, Sean. Do a Sean and pretend to eat the bag. Cool hand. Oh, I can do that. Now it's time to eat the bag. I'm going to start from the top. Jesus, how many comments are there? I thought it was like 3. There must have been 3 new comments. Jesus wept. Thanks, guys. I didn't. I thought there was like 3 people here. I didn't look at the. Oh wow. Okay. Quick shout out then, Slurpee. I know Nimble was first. So anybody missed between him and Slurpee, I apologise. But Slurpee's first on here. Papa Rack, some ice cubes and a baby. Okay. Woot woot from Ostiff. Live in 75 minutes by Garrett. Thanks, mate. Obviously, that was, I'm guessing, shown how long ago you popped in. Oh, there's an awful delay on this. I won't throw up the comments because the delay on it is terrible. Padawan with the cool hand face. Evening, lads. Ultra Bricks. Dave. G'day to you all. Just saying hello before starting work. I've been listening in the last few streams, but can't chat and chat because I'm in the workshop. So all the way from Australia, Dave's Bricks. Thanks, mate. G'day. The channel growing, cool hand. Keep it up, mate. More streams to listen to for me. Make my work day go fast, mate. Oh, that's a very nice compliment. Yeah, I wish I could listen to streams, stuff in work. Back to cycling my bike as well now. So where there was like a long period of time where I was either watching or listening to something or doing something on Instagram. Can't obviously do that when I'm cycling, and because I haven't cycled for over a year, and I've only really joined Instagram in that time. And of course, I do listen to some music, but I can only have one earphone in because you've got to be able to listen to the road as well. So yeah, and I can't in work, unfortunately, because I work in the public sector. So yeah, 4:30 a.m. in Perth. Nice. Nimble, let's go. True Squadron. Yo, Hoarder, what's up? Hoarder 66, what up? Yo, I here for you, said Ostiff. Brick Dynasty, Ken, how are you doing? Hello, sir. Never too old for Lego. What's up, everybody? Hoarder 66, hit that like button. Yes, absolutely, hit that like button. Keep that one up. Papa Rex, hiya, CHL. aka Cool Hand Luke. Dave Bricks, g'day, Cool Hand. Dave Bricks, hello all. Dave Bricks is blowing up the chat tonight. Hey all in chat, Hodder 66. Relevancy is currency from Mayo Hosco. As per usual, with the enigmatic messages, Mayo, nobody knows what you're talking about, but as long as you do, that's all that matters. Audio poo, okay. Audio is off, mate. Ah, right, so that whole time you couldn't hear bugger all. Audio's a bit choppy, buddy. Hopefully it's better now. Audio is glitchy. Mayo, please don't fall asleep. Nice. True Squadron, Clark. Hey, Stiff. Dave's Bricks, howdy. I've been up for 19 and a half hours, Dave. My boy, Barry. Okay. Do you mean from Barry? I can only hear bricks rattling. Good. Sounds better. Clark, I miss you. Nimble just watched the new episode. Great work. That's better, but still not 100% smooth. Oh, you'll never get 100% smooth with me, mate. Not unless it's my personality. Hey, y'all. Thanks, Ostiv. Legend. Appreciate brick with brick. Blah, blah, blah. Lots of chat between you guys going on here. That's what I like to see. We'll post here as well for you, Nim. Okay. Padawan. Crystal? Question mark? I'm not sure whether I'd say the music. Ah, there's Sean. Perfect. Run it. Thanks, Sean. I appreciate that. Thanks for stopping by. She mint now. I'll stay if you're too kind, good sir. Now it's smooth audio, velvety smooth. Sup, boys. Sean. Girth Gang. Do a Sean, pretend to eat the bag. Done. Girth Gang's all here. Hey, Sean. Building a hardcore mode. Comments. London Bridge Bricks confirmed. Check. London Bridge Bricks confirmed. Check your DMs. Not sure what you mean by that. Spot on impression. 11 people here. Martin, are you able to attach your cable to your mic via cable? You will be able to hear yourself talk then. Are you able to attach your cable to your mic? I don't want to hear myself talk. That's where I was getting, but it was a delay on it because to do this, I had to open StreamYard in two windows because I haven't been able to work out how to stream with two cameras on StreamYard from the same profile. So I have to open up two windows, which I can do from the same device. So I've done that, but it's not a full laptop. So there's only one USB import. It's what do you call it? A MacBook. So not a MacBook, a small laptop, whatever they're called. Anyway, it's one of them. So there's only one USB input. So the one I would use for my headphones, I've got the second camera in. So to circumnavigate that issue, I've taken the power plug and got a C-type double-ended. So the mic is plugged in where the power cable would be, which means it's not charging, but the battery's pretty good on it anyway. So if anybody knows another way around it, I don't really understand why you're saying it, Padua, if I'm honest, but are you able to attach your cable to your mic via cable? Attach your cable to your mic via cable. You will be able to hear yourself talk, man. Yeah, that's what I could hear myself, but it was like a delay in it. So anyway, I hacked my Twitter and my tweet about Cooper Cup in NFL over my head. If you don't relevancy is correct, is my New Year's channel slogan. Okay. Yeah, it went over my head. Sorry, mate. I thought Padawan loved it. Ostis Bricks. I don't know what's going on here. Can't stick around. I'll check in on you on replay. Enjoy. Ken, thanks for popping in. Thanks for tuning in, no matter how brief. And might try and catch you tonight because there's only 4 hours between you guys and us on the East Coast at the moment, which means that I don't have to stay up till 2 o'clock in the morning for you to go live. Same with ACOP. So might actually try and catch you this week. Your Instagram DM's cool hand. The stream we're organising. Oh, okay, yeah. Let me get back to you on that then, Mayo. I have got my phone here, but I only got so many hands. Sorry, I meant cable from headset to mic. Oh no, the headset works fine. I was just trying not to use it for this because I didn't need to, but then I was getting an echo. So as soon as I put this on, it's fine. I don't really need the headphones, but I'm just trying to keep the volume down because fiance is going to bed soon. So not that anybody else is talking, but if someone does join, it'd be a bit easier. But yeah, I have got a cable to go from my headphones to my mic, but I don't like using it because it keeps catching on my beard and making a rustling noise. So Just looking at them pieces is giving me PTSD. I just had a new alternate build for Bluestones next. I was getting all the pieces. Oh, tease. Hey, Martin, just popped in to say, hey, hope you're good, mate. Hi, everyone in the chat. Everything is going over your head. Is that a Welsh thing? Yeah, it just means I don't get it. Oh, I'm not switched on. I haven't been in work today, so I haven't had to engage the brain yet. I've just been kind of dossing about the house, doing some maintenance jobs around the house, getting some housework done, catching up with some bits and pieces, fine-tuning my bike gears, that kind of stuff. So I've just been like in mushy brain mode. But yeah, Muttley is indeed a legend. Ban. Yeah, the t-shirt's still here. I still haven't busted out the pack yet. I'm still waiting. I'm waiting to be... I don't even know what I'm waiting for. I think I might keep it fresh for Brickworld. I put some out there already, Kirsty. Brick Connection return date is set for March 29th. Ooh. And just remind us, Steph, who's first? Or who's going to be your first guest on that show? On the return show? Brick Connection, love. So while we're waiting for that bit of information from... you don't know, Mary. You just don't know. That's gone over your head, mate. So if you don't, in the meantime, so we're building the Bad Batch shuttle. We're doing an alternate build from the Bad Batch shuttle, a Bad Batch attack shuttle. I forget the set number. And we're building an alternate build, which you'll probably have seen briefly in my thumbnail. Try and get a picture up for you guys in a sec of what it should look like when it's finished. We're gonna go through it. So turn this music down a little bit because there you go. Actually, it's a little bit too intense, that music. Let's that should be a bit smoother. But yeah, what I'm going to do, guys, is I'm going to throw the link in the chat. If anyone wants to jump on board, be my guest. Would be a little bit easier to get some other people in here just because I'm going to struggle to maintain the conversation, the chat, and concentrate on the build. So let's copy that stream. Let's go over to the YouTube. YouTube, as Oaktown would say. And let's get it. Let's drop it in the comments. Oh, 11 likes so far on the stream. Well done, guys. Thank you. And if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe because I'm creeping up on 200 and be nice to hit that by the end of March. What I really need to do is just put a PSA on Instagram and say, everybody who follows me on here, go and follow me on YouTube. And that'd be an easy 600. But let's get in here and put the comments on. But yeah, I don't want to call it a GWP stream because somebody else owns the rights to that terminology, but it is kind of impromptu, so I haven't really planned it. And won't let me open the bloody... Why will it not let me open the... Let's close that, start again. An impromptu stream, so I kind of decided I was going to do one, but I wasn't sure when or what date. And then this morning I was just like, this afternoon I was just like, I would do one today. So it was kind of last minute, but happy to chat if anybody wants to chat. Mayo, I'll join. Mayo, if you join it, we can have any random conversations about like the inner workings of wombats. It's got to be Lego. Why the hell? I can't. I don't look like I'm going to be able to put the link on there anyway. For some reason, it's not letting me open YouTube. So I've already fallen behind with the conversation. Haha, just go their merch website. What? Just go on their website. I'll ask a couple of brickheads Discord. Ban is the way. Brick Connection, Boys Ambassador Network, I think, correct, Dave. Just confirm that on Discord. That's what happens when you fall asleep. That is what happens when you fall asleep. There's something wrong with YouTube on my phone. So let's get started on this build in the meantime. Let's go Rebrickable. Did have all this stuff ready, but for some dull reason, got a tendency to switch yourself off this tablet. That's why I don't like Apple products. They just reset themselves every now and then. Okay, like blocks. Josh. Pit Lego guy, what's happening? Muscles. Right, come on, let me add the... What the hell? It's saying here that the live stream that I organized on YouTube finished 8 hours ago. What was that all about? Why wouldn't it let me open it? There you go. Ah, lovely to see the top of my head. You got me for an hour or so, then I have bedtime. Bedtime? Whoops. Bedtime? Jesus, that's early for you guys. Yeah, taking bets on how many pieces I actually built. I am going to get into it, guys. I did do some preparation this time, but as per usual, something shot me in the foot. This time it was the setting up the bloody camera. I just get these harebrained schemes. I get these harebrained ideas that I want to try and do something different and something random last minute. What the hell's going on now? And like, oh yeah, I want to set up a second camera. But what I don't do is basically I'm never satisfied. So instead of just like being happy with what I had already set up, I had to try and do something else and make it slightly better somehow. And in doing that, I dropped the ball. So apologies, guys. But as you guys always know, I fly off the seat of my pants. What that means is I basically blag things, as you probably already know. I make the best of the situation as I go along. And these streams aren't like the shows anyway, where we want people in and it's interactive and it's engaging. I still would like all that, don't get me wrong, but I think this is more about just me building and talking about what I'm building. So, to some extent, viewership isn't such a huge thing. Or, the luxury of the conversation or the quality of the conversation, the organization of the conversation. It's more about you guys watching me build and talking about the build. So this is the best picture I can find. Let me just throw this up. Oh, I can see Mayo wait there. It won't be long, mate. Let me just throw this up first. So this is what we're going to be building. As you can see from the picture, hopefully. Is it there? My thing is being really slow. Okay, so there you go. So this is what we're going to be building. I think the only thing that puts me off about this is that there's no actual canopies as such. Well, there is a canopy, but it's like there's no like glass in there. So this would only be like, good to be able to pilot. And you can see the pilots are in there and they're kept in place and stuff. So for the sake of argument, yeah, it looks fine. But yeah, there's no actual cockpit piece as such because there isn't one included in this set that would be any good, or would be small enough. But it looks okay. It's the general shape of it that I like. Just the idea of doing something different. I don't think there's one looking at it now that I'll necessarily keep up, because I do actually like the Bad Shuttle itself, so I'll be rebuilding that at some point. But this is all right from the pieces. They got the shape and everything right. And, if you're using this kind of, let's just say on Geonosis or somewhere like that, where there is an environment that the troops or whatever can breathe in, then they can still use it. The cockpit reminds me a little bit of the Han Solo, the one from Modoc's Speeder. It's kind of that kind of style. So yeah, so that's what we're going to be building, and we shall see how it goes. And we'll just do a quick shout out to the guy who built it. So it's a guy called, I'm assuming his name is Elias Blue, but he's changed the E in Elias to 3, so it's 3 Elias Blue. So shout out to you if you ever watch this. Thanks for giving us the opportunity. May I do, mate?
Hey, I'm just trying to do something right now, so just continue talking.
Yeah, no worries, we'll do. Right, okay. So here we go. Pieces. A slight delay in this camera, as you can see, but these are the pieces. I'm going to dive into this build, and then if anybody else wants to join, let me know. And if you want to ask any questions, shove it in the chat. 0 pieces built in EVS. I'm not sure what that EVS is. My shift starts 9. Okay, cool, Austin. Right, so without further ado, let's start building. I don't know if anyone else gets this, but when I've been using the I keep going to call it a MacBook tablet, whatever it is, laptop, and then I go to use my tablet straight after it, I really struggle to register the fact that I need to start touching the screen again and not a keyboard. It's kind of weird. But let's have a look. Download instructions. Thought I'd already done that, but okay. Okay. So, now this guy knows how to do some instructions straight away off the bat, because I'm seeing that he's putting like a couple of pieces on at a time rather than like one. So you're scrolling down, seeing like one piece getting put on at a time. It's literally like, first picture is like 3 pieces on. Great. That's what I want to see. Doesn't quite take me back to the early days where we used to add like 20 per picture. but close enough. You guys get to hear that crisp sound of pieces being rifled through. And if that's annoying, I'm sorry.
Okay, I'm back.
Okay. Any news? Any goss?
No, because I don't keep up with the Lego news. I only hear it trickling down from streamers.
So what time is it there with you guys? 4 a.m. 4:30.
No. No. Now it's 7:32 a.m.
Oh, I'm guessing you're in a different area to Dave then, because he's Perth, isn't he? So
Yeah, because right now it's I'm pretty sure it's 5 a.m. for him.
yeah, that'd be about right. Yeah. Wow, this is some weird piece placement on this, but okay, I'll go with it.
So, is this just one of the many Star Wars sets in your backlog?
Well, not even. Yeah, I guess so. But when I don't know. When I think of backlog, I think of unbuilt sets. I suppose it still is that, I guess. But this is. I have built the Bad Batch shuttle in the past. But it's just one of many sets that I've built, and it's just sitting in a bag, mounted. Well, I've got crates and crates and crates of them. Sets just built.
Okay, so it was so you already built the set before, but you put it back into storage.
Yeah, I put it back into storage because I spent a lot of time moving around. So essentially, what I've done now is, if the set is a set that I want to have out on display, I've separated that, and at some point we'll rebuild and put it out on display. If it's a set that not really that bothered with, was kind of lackluster or didn't really have any interest in, or might have been particularly boring, I've taken it apart and used it in mocks, or it's gone in sort of spare pieces to be like recycled one day essentially. And then I've got like larger sets which might not get displayed again, but I would like to build and then take apart and then build and take apart, I guess, over and over again. And then sets like this, which are kind of medium size, not like the world's greatest sets in the world, and not that particularly that bothered. Wouldn't want to take them apart because I wouldn't want to lose actually lose owning them, if that makes sense. But and put them into turn them into something else. But I don't mind doing these alternate builds. So what I essentially do is every now and then I'll sort of grab a bunch of sets, troll through Rebrickable, type in the code, the set numbers. I'll have a big crate full of bags of Lego in front of me, and I'll be right, type all these in, find out any alternate builds on Rebrickable. If they look good, I'll be like, great, put that to one side. If they look pants or there isn't any alternatives, the set goes back. And then I've got a pile then. So I've got about a pile of 4 or 5 at the moment, I'd say. Yeah, 4 or 5 builds ready to do alternates for. And I think they make relatively good build streams, just because, not that there's anything wrong with doing build streams in general. It's not really my type of thing, but it does make slightly better viewing than just a normal build of a set that most people either have already built or don't really want to watch being built. But I think in my opinion anyway, when you're doing an alternate build, there's a little bit more to sort of see, and it might be slightly more interesting. I don't know. That's just my opinion, I guess. But so that's what we're doing. So trying to sort of show how we're doing so far.
Yeah, I know lots of people who their sets are in storage because they build them once when they come out, and then they don't have anywhere else to put them.
Yeah. This is kind of a weird thing that they've done here, where they've left a gap in these 2x3s plates, but I guess it's because they need to bridge that gap, but don't have the right pieces for it. No, I remember seeing somebody else talking about. I can't remember when. It was a long time ago, before I was probably active on YouTube myself. But I remember seeing somebody talking about Rebrickable alternate builds, and I'd already been into them myself at that point and done quite a few. Earmarked probably about 100, but only actually built maybe a handful. But then when I was kind of in this community, what I'd noticed is that I didn't really see anybody else building those on streams. There's plenty of build streams, and even them are kind of few and far between now, as we discussed before. Because I do think it's kind of, I wouldn't say an old-fashioned thing, but it's kind of a thing of the past to build on the stream. And not as many people do it now as they were. So I'd say I wouldn't say it's a thing of the past, but it's kind of like gone off the boil a little bit, if you like. So I wouldn't want to do that with just a normal set. I just think, for me, it's quite exciting to build a Rebrickable alternate build. So I just thought, if anybody's going to watch me build, I'd rather than watch me build something than effectively nobody else out there is building. Certainly not live streaming it. So yeah, just my idea of daring to be different, I guess.
Yeah, because as I said at the start of Cool Hang Luke on Sunday, a lot of people moved on from a build stream to kind of a live stream version of a podcast, because they realized the fun wasn't building Lego, the fun was just talking about it.
Yeah, 100%. But I think, if you've got the right crowd, which, we have here, thankfully, on this channel, you can, I don't know, essentially, I mean, what I've done, 3 or 4 of these now so far, and we've kind of had a little bit of both, where we've had, some good chat going on. Not quite to the level we would have if it was structured, but some good, decent chat going on, and then also, some building as well. So it's just, I wouldn't want to do one of these every week. I don't think there's call for it, and I don't even want to really organize one. I feel like it's more of a kind of, because I think I would kind of persecute myself then a little bit if the numbers dropped off or if people didn't tune in. Like I would if that happened to the channel, I'd be a little bit like, kind of a little bit gutted or a bit upset maybe. But with something like this, I don't really mind that much because, like I said, it is impromptu. There's no kind of, I haven't sort of planned it in advance. And also I can understand it's not everybody's cup of tea to watch someone else build. So essentially it's like, if there was 3 people in here or 2 people in here, I wouldn't really be that bothered. I wouldn't be offended as such or think too much into it. So, because effectively I'm doing what I want to do. None of this is for the people as such. This is just for myself. As selfish as that sounds, but the show we do is to try and entertain people. It's like putting on a show of any other kind. But this is just me doing what I would have done anyway. Even if there was nobody watching, I'm still doing what I was going to do today, if that makes sense. So it's almost like watch, don't watch, whatever. But obviously do appreciate the people who do stop by, obviously. So, yeah.
Yeah, because it was a hybrid situation with me. I was only streaming because I had stuff to build, and then I stopped streaming once people stopped committing, and I quit streaming weekly because my co-host went on to chase the American dream, and it took him 3 months of chasing the American dream for him to find any time to come back onto social media.
Who was that?
From blocks to mods.
Oh, okay.
If you watch my old streams from about a year ago, then you'll get to know who he is. We were once co-hosts. Because we both liked vintage Lego, particularly from the 90s. That was when he grew up. That was when he grew up with Lego, and that was Lego I inherited. So we were a match made in heaven. But when he couldn't commit anymore, that's when I think I threw in the towel and gave up.
Okay, because there was a. I'm trying to think. Actually, was it on your screen? There was a guy I met. It was. I'm pretty sure it was on one of your lives. Maybe one I popped on, or maybe during the 48 hour. I can't remember. Called. Was it? What was his bloody name? Bounty Hunter. Something?
Yeah. I know Bounty Hunter through the Building and Chatting podcast, who's friends with Skyren, who's friends with who used to be a co-host on a streamer who kind of doesn't do anything anymore, and so we were doing stuff together because they were available, folks at the Building and Chatting podcast.
Right. Yeah, because I've heard because he clips his show, and I've asked him to be on the show as well, but he clips his show into like little segments, little funny sort of segments, or little breakaway conversations that he's had, and I've been seeing those as YouTube shorts, and it's something I've been wanting to do for a while, but I haven't had the time to sort of crawl through old episodes and sort of clip out I know exactly how to do it, and I have done it in the past, but I just haven't had the time to just commit to just going through an old episode, clipping it. At one point, I used to make a note of funny things that happened during the stream, or what I would consider funny things, and then making a note of it so that I could clip it out. I can't remember what I did with that piece of paper, but yeah, I just haven't had time to go back through. But it's a great idea. It's a great way to kind of promote the channel, and so many people have told me that's what I need to do in terms of promoting the channel and the live streams that we do, the show. It's just to kind of clip out what you've already got and make like little shorts of just funny things, or just generally things you've covered. Like I said, it's just time for me more than anything else, because I don't get a lot of it, not a lot of free time anyway. So
yeah, I don't know what a bounty hunter does on his own channel. I just know what he does on the Building and Chatting podcast, and so I can't comment on that. But I know that other people do take their streams and clip it for videos or shorts or even reels on their short form social media.
Yeah. Sorry, I think it is Bounty Hunter. I think it is Building and Chatting podcast that I'm talking about. I just assumed it was his thing, but
Yeah, because everyone on the Building and Chatting podcast has their own dedicated podcast, and they do live shows too. And they are mainly Star Wars bros, and you're a Star Wars bro.
Okay, yeah. Well, I gathered that much, but I didn't know. So they're doing a kind of a similar thing to what we do, then, I guess, essentially.
Yeah, because your clique of streamers are also Star Wars bros.
Right. Oh, I've ignored the chat for way too long. What's going on? 0 pieces in the air. Oh, I've read that. Bad Batch Shuttle is an expensive set now, mate. Yeah, that's another reason why. Well, I don't know. I shouldn't say that, because I've always adhered to the idea that I'm not going to sell my sets. I don't intend to. Hence why I don't keep the boxes. But the value of a set is something that means almost nothing to me, unless it gets to the point where it's so valuable. And of course, it'd have to be valuable at a used without box level, because that's how I'd be selling all of mine. But unless it gets to the point where it's like, wow, say for example, a Bad Batch Shuttle is worth 400 quid, then I probably would be tempted to, maybe, because it's essentially just sitting in a bag, and the Bad Batch is something that's kind of been put to bed. So aside from maybe the figures. I don't know whether I'd really miss it. So yeah, now that I'm saying that out loud, perhaps I do need to start thinking about that. But if it's a case of, I paid 70 quid for it and it's now worth 80 or 90 or even 100 quid, even used without a box, it's just not worth the aggro for that. Because, it could be worth 200 in the future sometime and then I'll regret it. But I think I'd more likely to regret selling it full stop. But yeah, that's just me, I guess. I don't really think about resale value of things when I buy them. I'm literally buying them for my own pleasure. So how the hell has he put that piece in there? It looks like it's floating.
Yeah, I think some people are dropping like flies.
In what way? Oh, on the stream.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, this tends to kind of happen, if I'm honest, when I've done these. It starts off quite good when I'm chatting to the chat. I think I did one episode before where I was chatting and the viewership stayed up really well for a long time. And I was like, great. And then I realized I hadn't actually built anything. So, but as soon as I started building and obviously lost interaction with the chat, they started drifting away. So it's like, I don't know. I think it's probably because they're used to seeing me in an environment where I'm just talking. So it's all well and good when I'm just doing that and just chatting and having a kind of impromptu stream. But then when I actually start building and looking down a lot, and hence why I set up the second camera, because at least I thought then they could see what I was looking at, essentially, rather than just seeing the side of my face or the top of my head looking down at pieces. But yeah, like I said, I'm not too worried about it in this particular case because I don't really do this for that element as much as I do it for, filming what I was already going to do. So
Yeah, because we all have to make those trade-offs on social media. I make a lot of those trade-offs all the time.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's to the point where I'm like, do I even want to be doing this anymore?
Yeah. No, thankfully I've not been put in a situation where I've so far, and I touch wood, not been put in a situation where I'm like, what am I doing? Because on the channel with the chatting show, the viewership has kind of grown gently and slowly, but it's grown steadily, and it has kind of gone in the right direction, or even plateaued, but never gone down. So it's like, great, can't complain. But obviously, when I started doing this, it was never really to try and improve or increase anything. Maybe get the viewer hours up a little bit, but I don't really care about that so much as I do just, I don't know. I think I was just sat at home one day and I thought, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this alternate build. And I think I might have been talking to one of the guys about it or somebody about it and saying, I'm just going to do an alt build tonight and just sit and do Lego. And they're like, oh, are you going to stream it? I'm like, oh, well, no, I wasn't going to, but I guess I could try it out. And I tried it, and it's pretty popular. It wasn't like crowds of people there, but it was, good handful of people watching and chatting. And I think it helped because a few people jumped on, and then they were kind of engaging with the chat as well. So that does kind of help. But I don't want to put pressure on people to do that. So yeah, it kind of went from there. But I think, like I said, the most popular one I did, I think it might be the second or the third one, and it was absolutely bouncing like a normal show. And I just couldn't, in the end, I just said, I'm not going to bother building because the chat was popping so much and there was so much conversation going on that it just didn't feel right to kind of close that down to start building. So I just kept it going. But then I kept getting stick about doing a build stream and actually doing the building. So although I think it was kind of tongue in cheek, but still it made me realize that, that was never what I came here for. So.
Yeah, because sometimes a stream is so busy that you just end up talking and not doing what you planned.
Mm-hmm. So we've got this so far, guys. Anyway,
I've definitely been there before. But honestly, one of the really annoying things that I end up facing is I go to do something and then the chat starts complaining, well, why aren't you reading chat? And I'm like, did you not read the title? This is what I'm doing. It's like some
yeah.
people just can't use their common sense, or they get entitled, or they get so used to the way someone else does it that they don't realize that that's not how everyone else does it.
Ooh. Ah.
And
Go
I'm
ahead off, mate.
trying
Catch up, sure.
and I'm trying not to say names because otherwise that would kill my brand.
Yeah. No, I don't. I understand. Yeah. Ah.
It just looks like a pile of pieces.
Yeah. That's essentially all it is. This is all I've got so far. I wish there was a way to see, like, I suppose I could do that. See the instructions, as well as I was building. I'm wondering if that's worth doing. See if that'll work.
See, I don't use the digital instructions unless it's for a set that I buy used, and the listing didn't come with it. But if I'm going to piece together a set, I'm not going to bother buying the instructions.
Hmm.
I know some people prefer the online instructions through the Builder app or whatever, but I've heard too many people saying that the build style for some sets is just too awkward.
Yeah, it can be a little bit. I've done some rebrickables where you have to kind of work it out for yourself because they haven't done a particularly good job of digitizing their instructions. Or I think it's a case of they've never physically built the product themselves, and you can usually tell by the images. Like the images for this one, I think are all digital, whereas
And that's the
on
even
some,
worse thing. That's the even worse thing with Rebrickables. Often the designers are, well, if you don't know what you're doing, you're normally using a bad instructions design software, because there's a whole bunch of untested methods where you get a piece that ends up floating, or there's not enough stud stud connections, or there's not enough clutch power in any given blah 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 piece from blah 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 set. So there's many reasons I stay away from Rebrickable, not only for technicality but for ethical reasons.
just wondering if it'll let me. No, that didn't work.
At times like this, we need the technical difficulty sound effect,
Yeah.
the one with the color bars. Or we need
All right.
the Jeopardy theme. And I don't know why these
Right.
people design the background of those instructions to be black. You can't see black stuff on black paper.
No. Yeah, yeah. I haven't actually come across any black pieces yet. Well, I have, but I've been able to see them because of the way. Right, how's that work? I'm just thinking, is there a way I can get it so that I was hoping there'd be a way we could do it so there'd be the instructions and my building, my parts as the two main pictures, and then you and I small.
You
But I
can't
don't
have
think
two
I know how to do
main.
it.
You can't have two main pictures on StreamYard. You can do it through OBS, but not through StreamYard.
I might just leave it like that.
I've tried to
What's
do
this
similar
one?
things, and I could only do it through OBS. Well, Dave, if you're still out there, now is about the time when I feel like going to sleep. But I know my friends are going to be doing stuff soon, so I'm not going to. Because when you go to bed, I'll be doing stuff with friends from across the pond. I'm not across the pond. I'm across the swimming pool. No, sorry. I'm not across the pond or the swimming pool, because the Mediterranean Ocean is the swimming pool. The Atlantic Ocean is the pond. I'm across the lake. I really don't like flying over the Pacific Ocean. I just don't.
No?
No, because the only possible layover is in Hawaii, and not many planes do a layover in Hawaii. If you are a
Start
hardcore
counting
mock,
ships.
if you are a hardcore mock builder, Dave, it is unethical to use Rebrickable, because mock stands for my own creation. If you are buying instructions on Rebrickable, you're not building your own creation, you're building their own creation. I don't like it when people call it Rebrickable mocks. They should call it Rebrickable tocs. TOC, their own creation.
Yeah,
Why would I
I
want?
think it gets confused because when you go on to Rebrickable, it does say things like search mocks, search
Yeah,
my liked mocks, all mocks. So it refers to them as that, but essentially that's what they're called when they receive them onto that site.
yeah.
So therefore,
Well,
that's how they.
well,
But yeah, you're
for
right. You
the
are
for
right.
the for the yeah, because for the designers who sell their instructions, it's a my own creation. But the people who are building from those instructions, it's not yours, it's theirs.
Yeah.
So you can sell something and call it a mock, but you can't buy something and call it a mock, if you know what I mean. Because if you're buying something, it's not mine, it's yours. Because I wasn't the one who designed those instructions, am I? I'm not the one who's receiving payment from those instructions, am I? How can I call it my own creation? It's a little bit of a technicality amongst Rebrickable customers that no one's really thought about before. I started raising it with people who were building stuff
Yeah,
from
I
Rebrickable.
I've mentioned it a few times. In fairness, I've said when I've mentioned, oh, I'm doing a mock on a Rebrickable mock. Well, actually, they're not really mocks because mocks is my own creation. It's not my own creation. So I've
Exactly.
pretty much said that every time I've mentioned it. But of course, for the for the sake of not wanting to advertise what you're doing and then spend 10 minutes explaining it, it is just sometimes easy to go, I'm doing a rebrickable mock.
Yeah.
I think as long as, well, most people would know anyway, so as long, in my eyes, as long as you actually say a rebrickable mock and shout out the person whose mock you're actually making, then that's good enough for me, because the only other option is to either come up with another term or call it a rebrickable build, or say like, yeah, I'm doing a rebrickable mock, but it's not actually a mock, it's a, and then of course people have switched off. So but yeah,
Exactly.
but I think I always make sure I put in the comments.
Exactly, Papa Rex.
Orange.
It's a custom. It's a custom set. It's not yours. It's theirs. It's a custom set. So just to put things into perspective, given the audience, a rebrickable mock is buying the instructions for a rebrickable mock is just like buying the Boxer Boys set. It's not yours, it's theirs.
Right,
Someone designed it using pieces within the Lego inventory while not being employed as a Lego designer. It's a third party. So food for thought. Because people like Kim Plata make a killing on Rebrickable because people like Kim's stuff. And Kim gets good views on his videos when he shows off his mocks in Lego City. Because those are his. They are his own creations. But when Alex Yoon makes videos about saying, hey, I partnered with Kim and got the instructions, because something tells me Alex Nunes doesn't pay for those instructions. Something tells me Alex Nunes gets a kickback on the grounds of publicity for Kim Plata. That's just me. I have no way to confirm or deny that theory, but that's something I do suspect. You call me a conspiracy theorist or whatever, but when Alex Nunes does those videos, they aren't his. They're Kim's.
I don't actually know any of those people are, but
yeah. Well, that's that's because I've networked with more people than most people will ever in this community.
well, I've actually I used to know quite a few other people who've got mocks. Well, I still know quite a few of the people who got mocks on Rebrickable, but they were in a completely different arena. It was during the kind of Facebook group arena.
Yeah.
And in some cases, they were looking for people to. So they were. So like I was quite active in the Bantha Bricks Lego Facebook group for years, and in that particular group, there was a few guys who had reached out. Not reached out as such, but kind of were looking for people who were interested in building their mocks prior to putting them onto Rebrickable, just to do a test, because they designed perhaps the on Studio, they designed the instructions, but haven't actually built the set themselves or weren't in a position to. And I kind of volunteered on, I think, 2 occasions that I can remember to do that. They sent me the instructions for free. I still had to order the parts off Bricklink and everything, but and I built the set. The only thing I did in one case was I swapped out the color that he'd used, because I think he'd used like a green and a gray as the main colorway, and I changed it for sort of black and pink, mostly because the pieces seemed to be a lot cheaper, and a lot of the pieces already had in those colors, not pink, sorry, black and purple.
And that's
I already had quite a lot of the pieces.
And that's what you can do when you're just buying the instructions and not the pieces to build a build. Is you can make you can make color swaps if you can't afford something or you can't access something.
Yeah, but I've still got that mock actually, and and I've also reached out to people who've built mocks on there and have. So I built the ATST first order ATST head, because obviously the version of the first order ATST that was released had no head, and obviously it was kind of battered publicly for being like one of the poorest sets and regarded as quite one of the poorest sets. But I purchased it because there was a guy who'd done a mock for a rebrickable mock for building the head. Piece is relatively easy to get hold of. And I reached out to him and said, look, I've built this, because he was asking, there was like no reviews on it because it was relatively new, and he wanted some photos. So I took some photos. I can't remember whether he actually ended up using them. I can't remember what happened, but he wanted some for I should look away because I've got it in front of me here. But so yeah, so there was that a little bit of that kind of thing as well going on at one point. So I got really into it. But then it just kind of went off the boil a little bit because when I started moving around a lot, and obviously all my Lego went into storage, I just kind of dropped off. So it wasn't until I started doing these streams that I started getting back into it. But I did miss it. I missed it almost, if not equally as much as not being able to just build standard Lego. So.
Yeah. And secretly, that head you speak of was the head to that first release Qui-Gon Jinn that has just exploded in value. Because M&R Productions is an influencer. And one day you have a run of the mill Qui-Gon Jinn that increases tenfold overnight.
So let's have a look. Brick Artisan. I brought many extra sets to alternate build. Yeah, I don't think I've actually bought any sets to do an alternate build of, but I've bought pieces to do alternate builds, and I've done alternate builds. I've customized alternate builds. In fact, now I think about it, pretty much all the alternate builds I've done, apart from two, I've customized myself anyway. So I guess I could potentially get away with calling those mocks because, so for example, I built a ship recently, and then it was an alternate of the grey and blue Poe Dameron's X-wing from Force Awakens, but I only had the black and orange.
Isn't that the Resistance X-wing fighter?
That's right. So,
yeah.
But I only owned the black and orange version of Poe's X-wing. So I looked through the parts and they are relatively close. So basically what I had to do is I had to do the build, follow the instructions to the build. And when it came to a piece that I didn't have, because obviously the colors were completely different, when it came to a piece I didn't have, I had to try and work out an alternate to it. And in a couple of places it didn't really work, so I had to kind of change the build almost entirely. And in other ways, it was almost spot on because, they are very, very similar builds. But of course, the finished product was black and orange as opposed to grey and blue, which I thought looked more striking as well. So I'm looking at it right now. So there's that one. There's quite a few, actually, that I've, kind of done my own thing with. But yeah, so, and I've also used Rebrickable to make sets for other people. So... But that's just Rebrickable in general in terms of alternate mocks, which is what we're kind of doing now.
That grey and blue colour of that 2016 Resistance X-Wing fighter after the black and orange version of the 2015 Poe's X-Wing fighter is an appropriate use of the grey and blue colour, unlike the Star Wars set on my profile. On my avatar right now.
Let me guess. Is it the Darth Maul's Interceptor?
No.
1919. All right. Because I know you hate that one.
No, it's not. It's not that. It's the Sith. It's the Sith infiltrator, not the interceptor.
Yeah, sorry, Sith Infiltrator, yeah. But is that the one? Is that the set you're on about?
Yeah, because I would love, because I think one of the Star Wars video projects I'd like to do is showing where blue is done wrong and where blue is done right in a Lego Star Wars set. Because based on the original concept art the designers dealt with from 1999 to 2003, they used blue in a lot of inappropriate places. Of which the 2016 Resistance X-Wing fighter is an appropriate place. Same thing with all the Gungan subs. Same thing with all the stuff relating to the 501st Battle Pack and Captain Rex and all of that. Appropriate uses of blue. And there might be some blue stuff on Hoth, but I'm not 100% sure. And also there were those blue cloud cars in Cloud City or whatever. But that looks more like sand blue.
They
regular
were
blue.
red. Yeah. Yeah, the Bad Batch shot was all sand blue, and that was kind of, I wouldn't say it was panned, but it was questionable at the time because, you know, you don't really see sand blue on the build. So I don't know what that's about, but
yeah. So for those who don't know, Kim Plata is Nick Artisan on Rebrickable, and also a general is here. And Timmy is here too.
General Tron, how's it going? Timmy, what's up? Oh, you changed your profile pic. It's still something to do with, what's that block thing called? Minecraft.
Yeah, because on the Lego Timmy channel, the thing I care about most is the Minecraft world updates.
Right, okay. Yeah, I don't really know a lot about it, to be honest with you. Apart from what my daughter tells me, or did used to tell me when she played it, but I think even she's moved on from it now.
Yeah, I have a Minecraft server that my friends and I play in, and that people can gain access to behind a paywall, and so I actually took some of the first Lego Minecraft sets and built them in Minecraft out of Minecraft blocks. And it really goes to show how much creative liberty that Minecraft designers take, because they are not in scale with the actual game.
Right.
Because to get a square in Lego, you have to use a 2x2 and a 2x2 plate on top, and it just doesn't work out. And also the minifigs are completely out of scale when you're trying to build a door. Completely out of scale.
Is Minecraft the first? Whenever I think of Minecraft, or when it first came out and everybody was talking about it, I used to get it mixed up with Minesweeper.
They are completely different games. One is 2D strategy, the other is 3D creativity.
Because I'm kind of a bit old for both.
Because because Minesweeper stopped being one of the free games on Windows when Windows 8 came out.
Right.
The only
Yeah.
people who even know what Minesweeper is grew up from Windows 95 to Windows 7. I grew
Right.
up with Windows. I grew up with Windows XP, so that's how I know what Minesweeper is. But it really goes to show how hip to the jive someone is when they come up with something that's referenced from 20 years ago.
Yeah, but I even that I don't really know about because when I was in school we didn't really have computers, so that even that was kind of after my time. But
Yeah, I remember my parents growing up said there was just one computer per classroom because it was so expensive.
Jesus, one per classroom. We had like one in the whole school. Until I
Yeah,
went to high school, actually. When we went to high school, we had like a room with like 3 or 4 in. But
yeah,
they were so basic then. I think the only
yeah.
game that was out then was a game called like Wolfenstein or something like that. And not anything I ever got into.
Yeah,
It was like
and
a
it's also
precursor to Doom, I think.
and it's also kind of like when people were playing Minesweeper on their computers, a 65-inch plasma screen TV was over $2,000. Now it's less than 500
Wow.
because technology gets better and therefore cheaper, which means that the manufacturing technology gets better and cheaper, which means it decreases the price of technology for everyone else because the manufacturing cost gets lowered.
Mm.
Because people don't realize most of the cost in technology isn't through the manufacturing process, it's through the research and development. To get something right, to get the circuit boards and the algorithms right up to date. And if it's not, then you constantly have to do software updates to get it to run at its full potential. And that's why Lego, when you go back and look at sets from 30 years ago, a lot of those sets have their retail prices back then have outpaced inflation because as the technology for manufacturing gets better, that means Lego has been able to keep their costs down in the manufacturing side. Now that doesn't mean they're going to keep up. Well, that doesn't mean they're going to keep down their costs for paying their employees who design the sets and have to request new pieces to be invented, which means that you have to spend money on creating those new molds, which means you have to spend money on storing those molds in a warehouse, which is why they're able to claim, yes, we just magically lost the mold for the goat because we had to sacrifice it. We couldn't pay the money to store it. And there are conspiracy theorists who don't buy that at all.
Are you one of them?
I'm not sure what to think because I don't get caught up in the hoopla of the minifigure collectors. I just make fun of them.
Yeah, I'm not a big minifigs guy myself, to be honest with you.
Because
I generally don't even display
like
them.
yeah, because the reason why I make fun of the minifigure collectors is because they behave in the same way as crypto bros. You have to be tipped off about something to make out like a bandit and leave everyone else in awe, then dreaming, then realizing they can't afford it. Because, for example, that set with the Qui-Gon Jinn, whatever was different about it in its first production, that fault was always there, but it's only when someone tipped everyone else off that the price skyrocketed. and M&R Productions was the one who tipped everyone off.
Yeah. The only good thing is that because that set is still currently available, it's not going to skyrocket as much as if it already retired, like in other sets.
But that's a second edition of the set, kind of like how the Wally first edition had a fault with the design, so they made a second edition to change the build to fix the design for stability reasons, and that set came out in 2015 or whatever, or it might have been 2017.
I'm looking right at it. It's literally there.
Yeah, you got the Wally set there.
Not on display. It's currently being built by my fiance. Oh, I say currently. She started about 2 weeks ago, so she's a little bit like me.
You know what? You speak about your fiance in a lot of Jane Brix's early reviews. He would actually mention that his girlfriend, now his wife, helped build some of the bigger sets with him so that he could get reviews out faster.
Yeah. Yeah, well, that's a set I actually bought for her. But it's interesting because I didn't know that about there being an alternate to that, so it'd be interesting. But no, what I was referring to with the Qui-Gon Jinn is that I don't own that set yet, and it's one that I've got on my list to buy. But if it had been one of those situations where, you know, I was going to try and buy it on the secondhand market, my chances of that would probably be a lot smaller now because everybody would assume, you know, I know there's a factory code involved and all the rest of it, but it would be a lot harder to get hold of because everybody either be snapping them up or putting the price up on them, assuming they've got something they haven't.
Yeah.
So, but thankfully, because it's still available, I can still buy it at the right price, and I couldn't care less which version I want.
Fortunately, it's not a retired set, and the only versions of that set that would be ridiculously overpriced are those who can prove that factory thing on the box is the first edition. If you can't prove that you have a first edition version of the set, no one's going to want it. And it's also a similar thing to where there's a Monkey Kid set available right now for $170 or whatever that has like a $63 figure. Like that doesn't like a figure just doesn't become worth $63 overnight. Sellers have to collude to set the market. And there are so many minifigure collectors who just blindly accept what the market is and not look at the fig and say, hey, why are you selling that fig for 10 times more than what it is? Are you going to take a collectible minifigure and wait 3 years, try to sell it for 50? Do people really think it's actually worth 10 times as much as what it originally cost? There were some minifigure collectors out there who can justify that, and I will never understand that mentality. Because if you really care about collecting that stuff, go buy action figures instead, and you'll get more fun out of an action figure. Rather than a little tiny figure who's way overpriced that could easily get lost with the pocket change in your couch cushions. I'll never understand that about the minifigure collectors. And if anyone ever wants to debate me, I'll accept your challenge. But everyone wants that Qui-Gon Jinn.
Yeah, I'm not that bothered. I mean, the thing is, the chances now are slim anyway, because even if, let's just say, for example, the Lego store still had a few copies mixed in with their newer versions or whatever, or they, you know, I know the way stock comes in and goes out. so it might not have been rotated. So they might have still had a few out the back, and every time new ones came in, they went on the shelf. Chances of that happening obviously are slim, but it can happen. But also, of course, once this kind of news hit, everybody would have been out there scouring the shelves to just make sure they've got that version if there was any still knocking about on shelves, which there very well could have been, especially in some places like that where they don't necessarily rotate the stock out. And it's not like the set was really a huge selling set anyway, or a particularly popular set before that. So, yeah, there is a chance. There's probably a couple out there. Let me just do a progress picture so far. I don't know I don't really see the point of having these instructions up here because I might flash them up now and then, but I think it makes more sense to put the larger one up so you can at least see what it is I'm building.
Yeah, and I highly doubt any of the big box retailers still have first editions of that set in their warehouses.
Yeah, what's that? I can hear feedback. Is that from me?
It'd be more important if anyone in the chat can hear it and is bothered by
I'm not
it.
sure. I'm not sure whether that's because of the extra camera. I'm not sure, but not bad. Trying to finish up another custom Star Wars or Robot Jelly figure. Not buying a new. Yeah, same. General Tron. Don't really care about it. I prefer to make figures that Lego is not made. Okay. What's up, gang? Just popping in to say what's up. What's up, Slurpee? The one I'm currently working on, I have yet to see any of the mocks of, so it would be interesting to see that. At least, granted, if you're not a true Star Wars nerd, you might not know this fig I'm making. Thought you were the pump and dump type male. Nice.
I am the opposite of the pump and dump, but I know I keep up with people who report about people who sell crypto meme coin tokens on pump.fun every single day, and they make away with tens of thousands of dollars every single day because fools think they're going to get in on the action and sell before it crashes, and it always crashes before they sell. That is a phenomenon because we're living in a world full of people who waste money every day.
I'm just interested in General Trump's comment.
And some people
He's
waste
making a
it on.
couch in the. Go on, sorry.
Yeah, and some people won't waste it on Lego. So what Jen was saying, given how close I am to being done with this one, I don't mind giving the name, and if it makes a fig in short time to beat me, I'll be shocked. But the character name is Uru.
So what Generaltron, you make custom figs? Right, as in like printed, or like you just make up using parts that you've already got from other figs?
Yeah. General says it's a brick built fig.
Brick built fig. So as in like a brickheads.
Yeah, so what you just described, Kulhan, with using official pieces to make a custom fig, that's called a purist custom. If you're putting UV printing or pad printing on a torso, that's just straight up a custom fig. But if you're using details already applied by the Lego group, it's a purist custom. In the Lego minifigure history book, at the back of it, on the back pages, they actually gave suggestions how to make purist customs. I know one of them was for someone in the Navy, and they also gave a suggestion to make a purist custom of Abraham Lincoln before we got the Abraham Lincoln minifigure in the Lego Movie 1 CMFs.
Right.
And then I think
So
we got, and then I think in the Lego Movie 2 CMFs, we got the Apocalypse version of Abraham Lincoln, which was fun.
So which one are you doing, General Tron? A brick built fake fusion part, but this one is brick built. Ah, right. So so he's not doing a brickheads. I thought he meant like maybe a brickheads.
I cannot justify the cost of pad printed and UV printed. The reason why it's so expensive is because it's on a low economy of scale. And so when people try to sell their pad printed sig figs for $30, I'm like, nope.
Yeah.
But there's a market for that, and if that's what they want to spend their money on, I'm not gonna tell them what to spend money on. Kind of like I'm not going to tell someone to jump off. No, sorry, I'm not going to stop someone from jumping off a cliff unless they confess that it's because they want to kill themselves. I'm not going to stop you spending money on a custom figure.
That's so random and a bit morbid, but okay.
Yeah.
Christ.
Because, there are a bunch of figures from sets that I don't own, but there are pieces in my collection with some minifigure parts that look almost like the figs in those sets that I want. And so instead of buying those figs separately, if I have a piece that looks like what that piece is, even if it's like a modern equivalent, I would have no problem making a purist custom version of whatever the minifigs was in that set from the past. Because if you squint your eyes, it almost looks the same. It's only if you look up close and you realize, oh, this minifigure has a crease in the folds of his shirt, and there's a pocket in his pants that didn't exist, etc., etc. Which is why I've seen some people with some of the updated licensed figs that has an extra fold in their clothing, or that has a scar mark on their arm or whatever. They're not obsessed with trying to get that variant of the figure if it's in an expensive set that they otherwise don't care about, because there are so many sets where the figs by third parties are almost worth as much as the original set at retail, which is always confused me, and I'd love to know the answer why.
I see. Right. Okay. Trying to work out how that piece went on there then, but I've worked it out. So that goes. Wow.
So General made a B1 droid, and
I can't. This doesn't. This. They've missed something out here. They definitely missed something out here. So this doesn't fit where they want it to fit. So we've hit the first snag of building a Rebrickable set that clearly only exists in digital form, because I've got to a stage where I think I can see what they've tried to do. Doesn't actually work.
Yeah. So General is saying they came up with a B1 droid before Lego came out with theirs.
Who did?
General said they came up with a B1 droid before Lego came out with theirs.
Oh, right, okay.
Because when I search B1 droid, it comes up with the regular battle droid. And I'm not sure what the difference is between the regular one and a B1 one.
Yeah, B1 battle droid. Maybe he means like a buildable one, not a. Surely he can't mean a figure. How would he have done that?
Because the B1, well, because the battle droids have been available, I think, since the Phantom Menace sets in 2000. I've got to double check that.
1999. No, it was 1999. But what I'm saying is that I don't understand how. So he's made a version of a B1 battle droid. So he must have made it in 1999 or before, because the Lego sets came out only shortly before the actual movie did. Not B1. Give me a sec. I forgot the name. Oh, that makes sense then. I was going to say that how?
Okay, so General had to correct himself.
But also, we need to see pictures. General Tron.
Yeah, because I don't remember which of the 99 sets had a battle droid. Because the first one that comes to me was the 3-pack of the battle droids from the old minifigure packs they used to do with that stand and the trading card in 2000.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think now. I think it would have been in the swamp speeder attack. I think it was called.
Okay, it says it was in the original Naboo fighter in 1999.
Yeah, that one as well. Yeah, I'm sure that had 2 in. I think there might have been 2 in the swamp attack on Naboo as well. With they've got like
I'm gonna search for the Naboo swamp version, because that swamp might be my favorite. You know what? Yeah, it is my favorite of the Star Wars sets from '99, because the UCS sets didn't come out until 2000.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the Naboo swamp came with 2 of it came with 2 of the battle droids. It came with Jar Jar and Qui-Gon.
Yeah, because I've got all of the 1999 sets, and I've got all of the updated versions of those sets where there is one, apart from the Gungan ship. Because that's one of the things I collected.
The original Gungan sub, I think, still holds up to this day.
Yeah, agreed. I've never built it though. In fact, of those 1999 sets, I think I've only built like 3 of that original 13. Might not even be that. No, is it 3? No, 4. I think I've built. The rest of them are still. I bought them all secondhand, but they're all still in bags somewhere. Never been built.
Yeah. I really want to find a used copy of the 99 Sith Infiltrator without the minifigures, just to do a video trashing it. So General said it says
that's sat here somewhere.
So General says the BD1 battle droid. Let me search when that came out. Lego BD1 battle droid. Because I
it's
forget
not a battle droid.
Okay. the BD1 droid. Oh yeah, that's the droid that has the head that looks like a pair of binoculars.
Yeah, I can't. I'm blanking on it at the moment. BT1.
Yeah, so it was a 2022 set.
What set was it?
The set number for the BD1 droid was 75335 in 2022.
And that's all there was in it. It's just that droid.
It was a buildable UCS scale of that with the plaque, and it looks like the minifigure in that was a minifig scale of the same.
Yes, I know what it is now. Yeah, I don't know why I blanked on that altogether. It's because I didn't play the games. So it's the one that comes with Cal Kestis' robot, and it was also in the Mandalorian.
Yeah, because from looking at the pictures, it's that droid that has the exposed wires coming out of the legs.
Yeah. I never bought
And
that because it didn't mean anything to me. But yeah.
yeah, and according to Brickset, it was only sold for 5 months. Which how can you be a Lego set that's not a seasonal exclusive and only be on shelves for 5 months? How is that possible?
I'm pretty sure it was one of those ones
Actually,
that
no.
was.
No, sorry. I was reading that wrong because it came out in August of 2022 and retired in December 2023. I confused myself with the Brickset graphics because it said December 23. I was like, is that December 23rd?
All right.
But no, I think it was just reading it wrong.
I know it was one of those sets that was only like, well, in the US at least, only available in like I think it was Target or something like that.
Yeah, a lot of sets like that are store exclusive. And it's because retailers pay Lego more money per capita to have that be exclusive to their store. And there are some sets that none of the retailers want to sell in their stores, so they become direct to consumer sets. Wow, General, you still use Flickr. That's a throwback. No one I know uses Flickr anymore. They all migrated over to Instagram 7 years ago.
I don't even know what that is.
Because you're fairly new to the community, aren't you?
Yeah, and social media in general.
Yeah. Because haven't you only been around these parts for 2 years or something? Because when I saw your name for the first time, I think of my winter of 2023 is when I first saw your name around the place. It was probably
Yeah,
just after I went to Brickville, Chicago for the first time when I started seeing your name.
yeah. So active in terms of like chatting with other people. Yeah, I'd say probably about a year ago because I was, well, a little bit over a year ago because I was at home after I'd had an operation. I'd been in hospital last Christmas and I was home and I kind of alone all day, every day. So I kind of started being a bit more active. But in terms of like then doing my own content, joining Instagram and, starting up the YouTube channel, that was kind of, around about the time Brickworld Chicago was on, shortly after. But in terms of being like a watcher of Lego and commenter on the Lego community, yeah, probably a bit more like 4 or 5 years ago. And in terms of having a YouTube channel, then probably more like 10 years ago. But didn't really do a lot with it. So, but yeah, it's just kind of gradual from here. It just sort of started off by just kind of watching other people's content while I was doing other things, housework and stuff. And then migrated to like playing around with doing some stuff myself. Didn't really take off. Then started like, rather than just watching, I was stopping and actually making comments. And then, yeah, really just kind of going sort of all in eventually this time. Well, about summerish last year. But yeah.
Yeah, and it's when you actually start to leave comments when you watch people's videos is when people know who you are.
Mm-hmm.
Because I know people that
Yeah.
claim they watch others, and those others will never know that you watch them unless you comment on their stuff. And that's what I try to tell people who want to grow their presence in the community is go find people, watch their stuff, and comment on their stuff so they know that you're watching. That's the mistake I see so many people make, and that's how no one knows about them.
Yeah. No, I was a lurker for a long time, but I think it was because what I was watching wasn't necessarily interactive until like sort of ACOB came around. I was watching things like Tyler and M&R and things like that, but it was always kind of just content that a film they'd made. It was never kind of like live, and it was just, I'd see the comments on one of M&R's videos, and it'd be like thousands and thousands of people had commented, and a lot of those comments were people sort of saying, "You never replied to my comment." So I just like, I'll just watch it for the entertainment, and then that was it. I think it was only really when sort of ACOP came around, and it was like, I started seeing that they were actively engaging with viewers, that I started thinking, well, I might have. Oh, actually, I've got a bit of an opinion there. I put my opinion in, and it was kind of registered with someone, and they were like, "Oh yeah, we agree," and I was like, "Whoa, whoa, whoa!" It's kind of a bit of a shock to the system when somebody actually.
Well, those people that go comment on someone's stuff and get all salty, publicly stating that they're angry that someone doesn't respond to them, that isn't worth the creator taking their time to answer, because they're just salting, and they're just getting caught up. And they're just getting caught up in their own feelings.
Well, I understood it quite early when I was watching like M&R's videos, and he'd say, it's Ask M&R that he used to do. I used to enjoy that because it's almost like a topical show. So I'd watch it, and then that was it. Switch it off, wait till the next one. I wouldn't necessarily watch his other content, but I just watched that. I think it was just flagged up one day, recommended for you, and I was like, "Oh, that sounds good." Oh, he's talking about stuff, and obviously at that point I was buying back into Lego a little bit, so I made Star Wars Lego in particular, and it was like, okay, this kind of, it's kind of topical for me. It makes sense, and I watched it. But he would always say, if you've got a question, leave it in the comments. But I never ever considered doing it, because even though I did have questions for him, for all I knew, he'd answered it last week. And not only that, but like I said, there was when I was going into the comments, I was seeing like thousands and thousands of comments, and then somebody saying something along the lines of, "I've asked this question 6 weeks on the trot now," and sometimes he would even actually pull those up and be like, "So and so, just so you know, sorry, you've asked this question like 20 times, but I have a lot of comments and I can't exactly answer them all." So I was just like, from that point, I was like, well, I'm never going to ask one. And I think to this day, I may have only asked maybe one, possibly two. So, and whether it was ever asked, I don't think they've ever been answered. Certainly not my version of the question. But So yeah, so it wasn't engaging. It was just kind of content. It was like just watching a TV show to me.
Yeah, see
And I
that.
didn't
See
think
that's why.
any other version of it existed. You know, so
Yeah, and see that's the mistake people make is they go to a big guy expecting them to be interactive. It's more of the small guy that's going to be interactive.
well, yeah, but I meant in terms of like the content he was making wasn't meant to be interactive. In terms of you were just watching a video he might have made 2 weeks ago and edited and put out. So it was just watchability, you know. And like I said, at that point, I didn't realize there was a version of YouTube where there was people out there who were broadcasting what they were doing to the point where you could comment and say, "Hey," and they would read out the comments, you know. And I was just so when I found that version of or that sort of sub community, if you like, of YouTube, I was like blown away by it. I was like, wow, well, why didn't I find this sooner, kind of thing.
Yeah, because live streams connect more people than what some people realize.
Mm-hmm.
And that's one of the etiquette things that always gets me is that people always complain about the lack of interactive whatever. There is no written rule that says a streamer or a creator must do something. You just
No.
you just ass- you just assume that it's etiquette because of all the ridiculous unwritten rules we have on social media, that you just expect everyone to know what those unwritten rules are. And there are people who live in their echo chamber, a bubble silo, and just assume everything to be the same everywhere else. And it's not. You got to get adjusted to new people. And once you get adjusted to new people, you'll fit in with those new people, you'll become friends, and you'll grow together. And the most successful people who do grow together are those who get into people's camps and then become a backseat rider. While because they're a backseat rider to the bus driver, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. It's like kind of riding coattails, and I was always kind of like conscious of that when we sort of started up our channel, because I didn't want to feel as if I was trying to do something. I mean, it's impossible to do in this community to do something that someone else hasn't already done. You know, even the people who were at the top of the game now took the idea from someone else, essentially. Yeah. But I did want to kind of do something different, and I still don't feel as if we've found our USP necessarily with the chat show each week. But I still feel as if we are still doing something slightly different, because when we have a guest on, we cover a subject that person is kind of akin to, or that person, you know, can connect to. It might not be the whole show in some cases, depending on, you know, what the topic is. But we sort of modify to some degree the show around and to the guest, as opposed to just having the guest on to talk about whatever it is you were going to talk about, regardless of whether they're there or not, kind of thing. So that's something I feel like we've done slightly different, because I haven't seen that anywhere else. I feel like wherever else you go, there may be a segment where they talk about the guest, or they talk to the guest in the usual format, but then the topics of discussion on the table for that show are always, you know, aren't necessarily connected to that person. They're just whatever they would have talked about with any other guest. So like when you came on, for example, and we talked about Bricktastic, like I wouldn't have talked about Bricktastic with anybody apart from maybe Joel. But he'd been on before, and I like the idea of us kind of circulating the guests as opposed to getting the same ones on, at least at this point, over and over again. So I feel like that's something we do that not everybody does, and I can't say I've seen anybody else who does that. But I still think we've got a way to go in terms of doing stuff that really kind of jumps out and makes people think, wow, these guys are leading the charge, because we're far from that at the moment. So what the hell? Oh, okay. Stop and update. Okay, so General Tron. Sorry, General Tron. I've been looking at the chat for a while. Only 11 parts to make. You'll have to share it, mate. Send me a pic on Instagram and I'll throw it up if you've got one. Battlestar with the B1s, yeah. Qui-Gon, that's it. The staff. That's the thing I was thinking of earlier when I was trying to explain to Mayo what set it was. I got a lot of those first wave sets. I bought one when it came out, but I wasn't really back into Lego at that point because I didn't really have a dark age of Star Wars Lego, but I did have a dark age of Lego. So between the age of probably about 10, 12, and then 19, 20 when I bought a set again, and then another dark age because I literally bought that one set. I was buying lots of other things when Phantom Menace came out and got into different collecting habits. But anyway, that's a different story. But I bought that one set and it was the Vulture Droid. I think it was called something else then, but Vulture Droid, brown Vulture Droid for £5. And it stayed in my collection for 20 years. I opened it on the 20th anniversary because I'd forgotten I even had it. It's close to me a big scale. Here, I'll post my Flickr pic to Insta. Give me a minute. Oh, there you go. So send it on private message to me, General Tron, and I'll find it a bit quicker. I watch people like Star Wars 3 play that game, that show BD1, and that was 3. Yeah, I'm just trying to think what it's called. I can't remember what it's called. Jedi Survivor or something like that. I will try to do my own thing, but I'm always welcoming of anyone who wishes to tag along in a way. Yeah, I'm not quite sure what you mean by that, General Tron, but General Tron, why don't you join the stream? I'm not sure. I know I might have asked you that before, but the link is in the chat if you want to pop on and chat. See if we can find this Instagram thing now. Okay. Yeah.
Well, I think that's my exit cue. It was nice to have a little bit of a conversation while it lasted.
Yeah, no worries, mate. I thought perhaps you'd fallen asleep, to be honest. So,
No, I've just been quietly looking at stuff on my phone. That's my exit.
Yeah,
cue.
I started doing the same thing.
Yeah,
but yeah, no worries, mate. Thanks for popping on and keeping things warm.
Yeah, because I'll see you on some of your streams. You might see one or two of my videos, and then we'll get back together. 2 episodes of London Calling away.
Yeah. Oh, right. So when you were saying about London Calling earlier in the chat, you meant we're going straight after them, right?
Yeah, because I wouldn't want to stream when when they're still going. Of course, we all know Greg. He normally goes overtime anyway, but I did get confirmation that he does have end time aims. So yeah,
Right.
we'll book it for 11 p.m. After 2 episodes of London Calling from now.
Yeah, great stuff. Yeah, mate. I'll see you then. Send me the link when you got it, obviously, and I'll catch up with you then.
Yeah, I'll send
Anything you need?
I'll send you it at about this time next week.
Do you need anything from me for that, or is it just kind of rock
No,
up and see what we're talking about?
all I need is you to be you.
Right. I'm sure I can manage that.
So my viewers can see the real you.
Good. Okay. Yeah, sounds good, mate. I appreciate it.
Yeah. Goodbye, everybody.
Thanks, mate. Cheers, mate.
Cheers.
And then it was just me again. But yeah, General, if you want to pop on, have a chat. An easily disturbed roommate. I understand, yeah, mate. Yeah, actually, my fiance is in bed, so I might have to take it down a couple of notches myself, actually, because sometimes you forget when you got headphones on how loud you're actually talking. So, boo. Whew. I'm not sure who it all is out there, but sound off in the chat if you're still there. Ask me some questions. What do you want to know? What can we talk about? We'll do a little update on this build so far. Oops. Maybe I'll just put it down on this desk. Might be easier to see then. There's a bit of lag on this camera, so really can't see on there. Space on here. This is what we got so far. Definitely taking shape. We got one wing. it's really random use of parts. Some of the decisions they've made, I guess because they haven't got much of a choice, they've had to kind of put parts wherever they can, but the general shape is there. It's coming together. What I'll do is I'm going to fill space in the middle so you can kind of see what I'm building as I build it and get an idea of what's going on. I'll throw this up again as well because I'm on stage 125 at the moment. So go down the instructions. Sorry, just conscious of the fact that a couple of people I know are listening and not watching. So I don't want dead airwaves, so I'll just try my best to keep talking, even if I'm not saying much. I'm not saying anything exciting. So this is where we are so far. Why this is so laggy, I don't know. Probably because I've got two cameras on the go. There you go. So this is where we are. 1, 2, 5. I'll throw that back up just briefly. So far, actually looking pretty good. There's a few areas of the build that are a little bit, should we say, a bit weak. Again, it's something you probably wouldn't be able to tell if you've only built it digitally. And what I mean by that is that they've built a set in an app, in the studio app. So there's no way of, they haven't physically put bricks together, so it wouldn't tell you the stability, which is only something you can kind of feel. There's a few stability issues. I'm hoping I've got pieces left over at the end and I can fix them. I can already see how I could fix them. I'm hoping they do it themselves. But, I mean, it's getting better. So with time, it might get better anyway. But yeah, there's definitely a couple of things I'd be like, I would have done that a little bit differently. But yeah, we'll see what pieces we've got left at the end, because there might be an opportunity to. Very rarely have I done an alternate build like this and there'd be pieces left. Sorry, and they use every piece. Very rarely does that happen. Because I mean, I guess it's almost impossible. I've done alternate builds myself of sets, which I guess are my own creation, or they are genuinely my own creation. And I've tried to make sure I've used every single piece, but then I haven't used a set this big, I don't think. So I'm currently still in the process of building the IG-88 ship from the comic books, Bounty Hunter comic books, using the parts from the 2017 version of the Millennium Falcon. Currently still in the process of building that, which I've been building for years now, on and off. And I have got pieces left and a few more bits that I want to do to sort of customize the ship. But mostly because There was one element of the ship that I couldn't do. There just wasn't the parts to do it the way it should have been, and that was the thrust on the back. It was like kind of like pyramided out, and there wasn't any pieces that I could have done that with. No amount of talent or mock ability would have done it, because just the angles they needed. There was just those pieces didn't exist in that set. But I've recently seen that ship pop up in another piece of media, another graphic novel that I was reading, and I took some photos of it, and it actually looks on the back of the ship. I guess at some point during the time between those two ships appearing in universe or in graphic novels, IGT must have made some adjustments to the ship itself, because it does look slightly different, which is good, because it's now possible for me to have another go at least creating the thrust on the back, because it's slightly different. It's a different shape. But what I haven't done is I haven't pulled my build out since seeing those pictures to see if the second version is more doable. But I like to think it is, because it looks a bit more straightforward. It's just kind of round thrust as opposed to sort of cone shaped, if that makes sense. So I'm hoping I can use those new pictures when I go back and then make the updated version. Because the idea with that mock is, I don't know whether I'm ever going to get around to displaying it, but if I did display it, I would display it with source material pictures, i.e. stock photos from said graphic novels, just to sort of show this is what I've built. And then I guess not only have I built that set, which in itself is obviously a mock, but I've built it using parts from another set. So it's like a double, I won't say a double challenge, but a double win for me. Why can I not see another blue? So this is strange. Either I'm being completely blind, or the part they want me to put on next isn't actually here. Ah, no, I'm looking for the wrong shape. Okay, my bad. Oh, sorry, Jan Fron. I keep forgetting about the chat. I hope I'm not a backseat driver. Is that the Bad Batch ship? Yes. So we're doing a. Let me throw that up as well for you. We're doing an alternate build of the Bad Batch shuttle to look like the like a mock version of an ARC 170. So let me just show it now. I've got it here ready to show. There you go. Get a better picture than that. So this is what we're attempting to build, or in the process of building. So yeah, it's say I was about halfway through. But yeah, what was said was doing my own thing. I just came on your mind when you mentioned followers and some being backseat drivers. Yeah, no, definitely. Yeah, I actually enjoyed the show all the way through. Some people said that the second and third seasons were questionable and they didn't like the ending and stuff, but I thought it was really good. But yeah. Favorite Bad Batch character? Okay, so from the actual Bad Batch itself, I would say Wrecker. I really like Wrecker. But from the show as a whole, I don't know. I've always liked Cad Bane. Oh, wait, did he pop up in that? Pretty sure he did. Question it now. I'm a big fan of Embo as well, but I don't think Embo popped up in that show. It's been so long since I watched it, I can't actually remember a lot about it. But yeah, Dracula was the favourite of the actual Bad Batch itself. I'm just trying to think now who else appeared throughout the lifetime of that show. I'm struggling to think. My brain has gone all squishy. It's been a long day. Well, I say a long day. It hasn't been a long day. It's just that I haven't done anything today. If I do a stream after work, or if I've been, had a day off with my fiance, or I've done something or been somewhere, done something constructive with the day, or not something constructive because I have had a constructive day, but if I've done something socially throughout the day, I find that I do these better. It's when I've been like the best stream I ever had, or build stream I ever had. Well, and the live streams that I've done on my own at least. Because when you're with other people on the stream, it's great. It's easy. You can kind of bounce off them. The best one I had is when I did one randomly after work one day. I was just so brain was so active and pumping and working well and active, that then coming onto a stream was like a really good use of that kind of energy, if you like. But when I've kind of just been at home all day on my own and not spoken to anybody, not socialised with anybody, not even spoken, unless it was to myself kind of thing, and then coming on the stream, I gotta be honest, I don't think it's worked as well. Because I feel a bit brain dead. It's kind of it's hard to describe, because normally when I'm in a situation like that, it doesn't change, so there's no reason to feel any different. But I'm really struggling to stay interactive, just because I've been kind of switched off all day. So, but I gotta say, I'm not even sure whether you're still there or if anybody's there, but I'm really struggling. I can feel my brain melting, and I'm not as pumped and as active as I normally am. So I might have to call it shortly. But Coop, how's it going, mate? Thanks for dropping in. It goes well, as in I'm well, I'm good, I'm fine, I'm alive, no problems. Enjoying the build, but I'm at the point where I'm starting to not enjoy it because I'm feeling tired, but not like sleepy tired. More like I don't know. I was just saying now that because I haven't socialised with anybody all day and I've just been at home alone, coming on the stream, it's been a bit difficult to just keep things going. So I'm not my usual self, I don't think. I feel like I'm a bit like aloof, rather than, even when Mayo was on, I felt myself just listening rather than kind of talking with him. So I do feel a bit burnt out. I'm okay though. I'm fine. Like, I don't feel unwell or anything. I've still got half a week of work left. So I'm working. I got a day off again tomorrow, where I'm working Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then I don't even know, a couple of days next week as well. So I'm all right. It's just, I think I've just realised, just doing this stream, that if you do a live stream like this, especially one where most of the talking or the onus is on you to keep it engaged, and you've been alone all day, or at least in my case, when you've been alone all day, it's a lot harder to get your brain active again. Whereas my typical job and lifestyle is based around engaging and talking and interacting with people all day long in my job. So once that starts and that's pumping and that's going, I'm like, yeah, you can't stop me. Whereas because it's like I've just been on my own all day, trying to just kind of spark that up now, it's like pushing water uphill. So, but yeah. Papa Rex still at work for another hour, mate. I wish I could say that I can go for another hour to keep you entertained in work, but A, I don't think I can, and B, I don't think at this point I'm entertaining. I'll be honest. I know when I can honestly say that I have been throughout this stream, so it has kind of knocked my confidence a little bit, because I don't feel like I've really done this stream any justice, but I'll do a few more bits and pieces. But if anybody's out there wants to join and try and bring some life back to the stream, let me know. The link is posted, but yeah, outside of that, I think I might do a few more pieces and then call it a day. I won't carry on the build. I'll do a part 2 when I'm a little bit more, when my brain's functioning a bit better and I can actually be of some kind of entertainment rather than just sitting here like a zombie. But I do appreciate everybody who stopped by. Like I said, these streams aren't like the show where it's about dancing and singing and keeping everybody happy. It's just you guys watching what I would be doing anyway. But at the same time, I do think it's been a bit hasn't been as good as it could have been. I'll say that much. So what's everyone else up to out there anyway? I didn't actually ask you, General Tron, who your favorite Bad Batch character is. The normal retort is to ask back, but just goes to show how out of I am because I didn't even think to ask, so I apologise. But yeah, who's your favourite Bad Batch character? ADHD, yeah. No, it's tough, mate. I know it's. I don't, like I said, don't normally struggle with this kind of thing because my job is literally engaging and talking to customers all day, and obviously my team. And I'm not one of those people who I know there's other people out there, and I think probably at one point earlier in my career, I had to kind of be like, right, kind of almost have a conversation with myself before getting to work or before starting work, at least, to say, right, come on now, you got to switch it on. This is your job. This is what you got to do. There was a time maybe, and I've heard of other people who do that even now, after years of working in the business, just to kind of psych themselves up or to, get themselves in work mode. But honestly, I don't do that. I haven't needed to do that for years and years. It just comes naturally to me because it's something I do actually enjoy. Engaging with customers and having a laugh with customers and obviously interacting with my staff. So it's not like a chore for me. It's not like something I have to switch on because it's just, like you said, it's just natural. So I'm quite lucky in that way. But today has been a bit of an eye-opener for me because I don't think I've ever been in a position where I'm struggling to have that interaction with people, which suggests to me that it's just because I've been the only time I'm ever at home all day on my own like this. It stays that way. Nothing changes. So that's why I put on the wrong one. It stays that way all day, and then I go to bed. So it's like I never have to kind of switch it on halfway through the day. like today. So yeah. So I'll bear that in mind if I ever do a stream in future. Always do it after work, or make sure there's going to be other people here, so that so there's not so much pressure on me to be switched on. Oh, that's better. So that didn't look right. Okay. So I built this top flap wing that you can probably see in the main picture. Hi, how's it going, mate? Just about to call it a night, actually. And you might know this better than anybody else, unless you're lurking while working. Although, saying that, I don't think that's the case anymore for you, because I heard you got a new job, so congrats on that. But yeah, just talking about how like streaming, when you've kind of streaming in the evening, which it is for me here, after you've been alone all day on your own, how different that is, at least for me, to streaming when you've been like in work or interacting with other people or whatever all day. And I think it's taking its toll on me, because I literally, like, my brain is just struggling to do the basics. And I'm feeling tired, but not physically tired. I'm not sleepy tired, but just kind of aloof, like out of it, almost like I'm having an out-of-body experience at this point. It looks like it's somebody else's hands. And just purely because, I think it's purely because of that, because I haven't engaged. I have to engage my brain all day. I've worked on my bike and I've done some other things around the house, but it all like it's like washing your hands after using the toilet, that kind of thing. It's just instinctual. It's not something you have to. So that's all I've done all day, is that kind of stuff. So now I'm challenged to try and build and talk and follow instructions and engage with the chat. Can't do it. Clearly can't do it, or I'm not used to it, at least. So from now on, I'm going to make sure I plan any streams like this for after work, or when I haven't been at home all day on my own. But yeah, hi, if you're still there, I'm really sad to hear about GMB. I haven't got to the point yet in rewatching the last episode where you actually announced it as such, but I knew that's what was coming, and obviously I heard from somebody else, or they told me, or they asked me if I'd heard, and I said, well, I knew it was coming, because you can tell from some of the things you've said recently, but I haven't seen the official announcement yet. I got to the point where you were just about to say it, I think, and then I got pulled away. But yeah, sad about that. But I think from what you've told me, or what you've said in your streams about being busy with a new job or whatever, then it seems like the right decision to make. And obviously you're going to miss you. I'll miss you and the team on that regular slot. You know, I'll be honest, it wasn't a slot that I was ever able to make generally in terms of like watching, just because if I wasn't working on a Sunday, it was daddy-daughter time, time I spent with my daughter. So very rarely was I watching YouTube on a Sunday afternoon or Sunday morning. But still, it was an iconic show, and many an episode watched. I don't think I ever managed to sort of catch up and tune in every week. Like I'd be like, maybe halfway through it, and then the next episode would be on. Because there's just so much content out there at the moment. But from what I did see, and from the time I did pop on that time, I really enjoyed it, and it's a great show. But yeah, if you're ever in a situation where you want to do something like that or something similar to that, or do it on a different day, a different time, I'm sure there's other people, including obviously those guys who've been with you all that time, who you pick up with first. But if you ever want to do like a collab thing like that, mate, I'd be more than willing to work something out and do a chat show type thing or a whatever. Always enjoyed sharing the screen with you, mate, when we've had the few chances we've had. I was literally, I had to check the screen then because I was just conscious, Hive, that I was talking, and just like I said earlier about my brain being not there, I was conscious of the fact that I was talking, and I didn't even know whether you were still in the chat to be listening, so I was just kind of talking to myself. But yeah, so I need to catch up now to see what you actually said. Streaming can take a toll on your mental energy. Yeah, definitely. Like I said, I don't normally struggle with it. Never had an issue with it before. This is the first time, though, that I've streamed after being at home all day on my own. So it is clearly very different, especially when you're streaming and you're on your own, or trying to do other things. If I was just sat here chatting to the thing, I'd probably be all right. Taking a break, yeah, definitely. Well, look, you've got to focus on this new job and getting back into normality. Eventually, I could run a brick world, but for right now, I'm taking a break until I get my new job under control. Yeah, good. Yeah, it makes sense. Right, so you didn't officially, right, because I didn't get as far as the actual announcement, and I know what I knew it was coming anyway. I didn't know how you broached the situation. Was it like it's cancelled? Was it postponed? I keep getting called late Saturday or on Sunday. Yeah. I'm so glad I don't have a job like that where I have to do call outs. I mean, I am on a call out list for my store. And with my previous job, I did have to do a handful, but not in the way you do. Ours was an alarm call out. So if like the alarm had triggered in the store, I'd have to make my way there and check everything was okay. Sometimes wait for the police, depending on what type of alarm it was. But you'd get like your travel paid for. In my case, if I had to get a taxi or whatever. But generally, I live close to the store, so that wasn't an issue. And I'd get and you get an extra 20 quid in your pay for every call out. But it was never actually any work. At the very worst, I had to sort of wait for the police, enter the building, and then wait for a locksmith to come out to change a lock, which was a couple of hours. And you get paid for the hours you're there as well. So, but it was never actually work. It just kind of took my portable CD player and DVD player and sat and watched films. This was that long ago the portable DVD players were a thing. Sat and watched my portable DVD player in the office until the locksmith turned up and changed the locks, and I went home. And basically nobody had broken in. They just tried the locks and broke something in the lock trying to get in. So set the alarm off, whatever. But I don't even know what I'm talking about now. I personally would handle streaming and building. No. Episode 300, right? Okay, so you're on two. I remember the number being a number that resonated with me for something, and I was wondering if you were going to finish on that because of that, but I can't remember what the number was. No, I won't still be going, mate. You go and have your dinner and enjoy. I'm going to finish up now. We're on 2.5 hours. I only plan to go for 2, so I'm going to finish up. And Kirsty's probably trying to sleep at this point, so I need to tone it down a bit anyway. Weirdly, I'm on the floor below her, which is the middle floor. But if I'm on the bottom floor, which is further away from her and more doors and rooms between, but somehow she can hear me more. So it's kind of weird, but yeah. I'm pretty sure it was. I don't know what. I can't remember what episode you're on, but yeah, it's not far off. But Yeah, 300. Be a nice round number. Oh, I wonder if we can ever get to 300. What are we on? 23. Anyway, all right, guys, I think I'm going to call it. I can just feel myself just drifting into the abyss, having just random conversations. And I genuinely I'm planning to go sit downstairs, watch a movie after this, and make yourself a cup of tea. So I've got to conserve some energy for that, but I think I need it to switch off. But this is what's left of the parts. Not many. Say about just less than half. Space. I should try and get the camera up here somewhere, actually. That's a much better shot. Actually see what I'm doing. So that's what I've got so far. Wow. But yeah, that's it, guys. I'm going to call it a day. 2.5 hours. Catch a nap. No, I'm honestly, General John, I'm not tired at all. I'm not sleepy tired at all. I'm actually feel quite awake. But yeah, I just need to go back to some quiet and relaxation. But anybody who's still out there, whether you're lurking or active in the chat like General Tron, appreciate you coming along. And yeah, thanks for stopping by and watching. Try and do a part 2 of this very soon. And yeah, be nice to see it finished. I mean, I really want to carry on with this now. But I feel like if I've started a build stream doing a set, it makes sense to finish it on a build stream. Otherwise, it's kind of, you saw me build half a set, never get to see the other half. At least until I'm in a better position to start doing some proper content, like short form content, showing off some of the stuff I've built. But that's all to come. Why I keep gravitating towards the long form, I don't know. I suppose it's just really for me to just live stream and just be myself rather than edit myself. But yeah. So yeah, thanks for coming along, guys. Appreciate your time. For everybody who stopped in, whether you're catching this up on replay or if you're still there or if you've been and gone, then yeah, appreciate it all. How do I get rid of that? There, just me. So yeah, thanks guys. Appreciate your time. Thanks for stopping by. General Tron, special shout out to you for being here at the end and anybody who's listening. And yeah, tune in soon. Hopefully we will have part 2 of this build. Building an Arc 170 using the parts from a Bad Batch attack shuttle. Can be found on Rebrickable under the Bad Batch shuttle alternative build. So far looking pretty good, pretty cool. And I gotta say, it was a little bit bigger than I was expecting it to be. For some reason I was expecting it to be smaller than a standard Arc 170, but it's probably about the same size, certainly of the version I own. But yeah, so quite surprised by it so far. So I'm going to finish that off in an episode 2, hopefully very soon. In the meantime, please check out some of the shorts I've got on my channel. Go and check out if you're into long form, want something to listen to. to have a laugh at and whatever, and just kind of get involved with, please check out some of the back episodes of Cool Hang Luke, which is our weekly talk show, which is every Sunday going 7 p.m. UK time. Works out usually about 2 p.m. at the moment, 3 p.m. in the US Eastern time. And a group of us there, we just have a guest on most weeks. We just chat about something that connects with that guest, and then some other random topics, and we have a bit of a laugh. That's more of a kind of boys all sat around the pub having a chat kind of scenario. But these builds episodes, I just kind of do randomly when I feel like it, if I'm planning to do some building, which is rare these days. But yeah, and a little bit more interested in just watching someone build an average set that you might have built yourself, or you've seen a dozen people building, trying to build sets that you might not have seen or you might not know of, and a little bit different. But yeah, if you don't already, please subscribe, like the video, leave a comment so that I can, what do you think of this build, so I can get back to you guys. I will engage with every comment, so let me know what you think. Do you like alternate builds? Do you use Rebrickable yourself? Is there a alternate build that you've seen on Rebrickable that you want me to have a go at? More than happy to have a pop at it if I've got the set. What's your favorite Lego ship? Have you ever done a mock or created something different or customized a ship? Let me know in the chat down below, and hopefully I can engage with that. We can have a bit of a conversation on it. And if you ever want to be a guest on the Cool Hang Luke show, please reach out to me on Instagram, and we can arrange something. We have got a list of people, but depending on what topics we can come up with and timings, sometimes those people jump up and down the list. So yeah, and in the meantime, if you don't already, please head over to Brick Adjuster's channel, which is called Brick. Oh Christ, I've already forgotten what it is. But I'm appearing on their show on Friday night at 10 p.m. Eastern time. Is it 10 p.m. Eastern time? Oh, it won't be as late for me, will it? Let me just double check the time. Yeah. Oh, yeah. So it'll be. Yeah. So Brick Adjuster's chat show is called Full of Brick. They usually go 10 p.m., which is normally like. Is it 10 p.m. they go? Yeah, 10 p.m. Eastern time, which would normally be like 3 o'clock in the morning for me. But because of the difference in time, it's only actually 2 a.m. So, if you're in the UK and you happen to be up at 2 a.m. in the morning, go and check me out on there or catch her on replay. But if you're on the Eastern Seaboard in the US or anywhere in the US, go and check out Full of Brick podcast chat show, which is streaming on the Brick Adjusters channel, because I'm going to be the guest there this Friday. And other than that, that's me done. That's me out. Thanks, guys. Take it easy. See you on the next one. Bye.